Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
We know how important your company is to the community.
Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Louisiana and Beyond.
And this week we continue our look at the recent Coastal Day at the Legislature, an annual event held at the Louisiana State Capitol.
And tonight you will hear from lawmakers from around Louisiana, including State Representatives Jerome Zerang, Stephanie Barrault, and Blake Landry, as well as State Senator Eddie Lambert.
And adding their voices will be statewide officials Michael Hare, Scott Kirkpatrick, Michael Heck, and Secretary of Economic Development Susan Bourgeois.
And in our guest segment tonight, we feature Corey Keefe from Crosby Tugs.
All of that and more coming up on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, who do you choose to be? At Nichols State University, with over 70 distinct degree programs, we believe our students can be anything. Be an artist, a chef, a journalist, an educator, a lifesaver. But no matter what you choose to be a colonel. Be more at Nichols State University.
Welcome back to Louisiana and Beyond, and our return to the recent Coastal Day at the Legislature in Baton Rouge.
And in this segment, Martin, lawmakers from Houma, Gonzales, Slidell, and Erath will voice their coastal support. And we're going to kick it off with the words of a noted statewide coastal consultant.
Scott Kirkpatrick here, and here kind of representing the coastal advocates. So thankful for all y'all being here, because today is about kind of bringing our advocacy to the Capitol and to visit with our legislators. And we have kind of moved their time up in the session because they've got, the House members are going in at 1 o'clock. So we're going to do, we thought it'd be nice to do a brief time to visit with them, get their impressions about, what their colleagues are thinking about the coast, what may make an impression as we go down later on, visit with them about coastal projects and coastal funding.
I mean, I think basically what everyone has said, we're all in the same boat together. Everything that affects South Louisiana affects North Louisiana. And the coastal forests that are right above the marshlands, those are very important. And that knocks the wind down in places like Ascension, Livingston, St. James. Those areas are crucial. And really the defense of the coast, the economy that comes from the oil and gas, the seafood, benefits all of Louisiana. So I think that's the reason we're all in the same boat together. And really we need to really pull for the coast, because that is our key to economic future.
I think I saw Secretary Mishwak here, and she'll be talking in a little bit, but one of the things we're really heavily focused on this session, we've had our best economic development year ever in the history last year. But with that, to be able to continue that, to be able to build on that, we're going to need places for people to live that they can afford to live. And so we all love it's our history, it's our home, but it also, as we're looking to the future and to growth, we have to have safe places for people to live. And I think when you're talking to the people from outside of the area, it's really important for them to know all these jobs we're recruiting, all this economic development that we're talking about, isn't going to be able to happen if people can't move here and live here and work here. So that would be if I were going to give advice on when you're talking to people from any part of the state, that's where our minds are. That's what we're focused on this time. So just be sure that they know how important this piece is to that big total picture.
And another important aspect is we can't separate ourselves. It's not North Louisiana, South Louisiana, in so much as those think benefits of what we're doing here on the coast. The obvious answer is that, yeah, as I mentioned, the majority of the economy and the people live down here. But if you look at, from the navigational perspective, all we have are the port systems that we have. It's all integrated, and all the things that we rely on resource-wise. We always talk about how Louisiana is resource-rich but people poor. And it's time we utilize the resources in a way and maximize the benefit of those resources, but more importantly, that we ensure that we can sustain those resources. And the wetlands are critical to doing that. And again, it's not just for, I'm all about, the fish, birds, and all that other stuff, which is important, but it's also, we talk about the navigation, oil and gas interests, and all the things that are important to this nation. We call ourselves a working coast. We are a working coast. And to allow these people to continue to work and live, and the economy to support that, you have to have a place that the people are protected, and you have to make sure that continue to rely on resources, that you are sustaining an environment, the most valuable ecosystem. Again, I'm somewhat biased, but you could talk about the San Joaquin Valley, the Florida Everglades, the Chesapeake Bay. When it comes to productivity, they pale in comparison to what we have here in Louisiana, and we need to continue to fight that and support it. And I think, our other fellow legislators, I think understand and appreciate it. But like anything else, you're here to represent your district. But I think it's important and for us to continue to make the case how it's not just South Louisiana, it's all of Louisiana, and that's important to everyone in our thing.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate that. I think protecting the coast and having our fellow legislators understand, I think it's as much an economic impact as anything. I mean, we got LNG on the coast, you got ports from Gulf of America coming in and out, you got pipeline facilities, you got industrial plants all up and down the coast. Well, I see it firsthand where people from Shreveport, Monroe, all parts of Louisiana come down for those jobs, right? Those jobs are available to all Louisiana. And so I think having them understand not only the economic impact, but if you can look back at the 2016 storms that we had in August, that affected us from Monroe all the way down to Erath, Louisiana. And that's why a lot of us, if you really studied that weather pattern, so I think all of Louisiana needs to understand the water has to go south, like my grandfather used to say. So I think the more successful we are on the coast, our colleagues in the north of us or all of the state benefit from. But what we can do in actually on the coast and CNIs, the House of Natural Resources. And I got to say, our colleagues that aren't on the coast always willing and supportive and understand the projects that need to be done. But Louisiana, like you said, I'll say 70%. She says 2/3, 6.5 dozen others. But so I really think that everyone understands how big the coast can be in Louisiana. So I have no doubts our colleagues support us in.
And later in the show, we will hear from statewide economic development officials Michael Heck and Susan Bourgeois.
And we're also going to hear from CPRA's Executive Director, Michael Hare. But after the break, our weekly guest segment will welcome back Corey Keefe from Crosby Tugs. Stay with us. We'll be right back to Louisiana and beyond.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drilled deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
Now in the program, we turn our focus to one of the key players who has been keeping South Louisiana moving for decades, Crosby Tugs.
We're joined by Corey Keefe, giving us a look at how this locally grown company has supported shipping, logistics, and construction along our waterways.
Crosby Tugs was formed, I think, in 78 or 79, 1978, 1979, about that time. And it was formed by Mr. Vinton Crosby. And he bought one tugboat, and shortly after that, his son Kurt Crosby joined the company. there's a story behind Kurt. You know, Kurt was at Nichols playing, Kurt was going to Nichols to play basketball, and get an education, but that wasn't his path, so he ended up going into business with his dad. They bought a second tug. Before you know it, they're getting another boat or two here and there. And they started to grow and grow and grow to the point of where now, it's a 140 to 150 tugboat outfit. Now we don't have all of those operating, but the point is that's what it's turned into. And I tell people this all the time. I've been with Crosby now for 13 years, and I have 49 years in this now, so my previous 36 years was a real good gig, and achieved a lot of success and all, which kind of what brought me to Crosby's doorstep, I guess. Is he and I talking through the years. We were fierce competitors at one time. But this is like being on tour with the Rolling Stones all the time, The tugboat company ended up getting diversity, which started, I guess, about 10 years ago with the acquisition of the dredge division and buying dredges and building that up. And then then Crosby invested into a company called Bertucci, and they took that company and merged it with a company called Lure Brothers out of Illinois. And now Lure Crosby is one of the largest outfits in the country that can harvest, deliver, and install rock. Okay, so the diversity, I was very fortunate to be here to live through that and to be part of the thought process, and now to be part of the management process. And it's tough. It's got its challenges. Don't get me wrong. It's not all lollipops and unicorns. It's not that. But I gotta admire him for taking the courage to take those steps and taking on those risks. And what that means is employing more people here. But we have people from all over the country that work for us. Even people from outside the country that work for us. We have a division in Mexico. We own another company there too, another tugboat company there. So we have that piece of diversity as well. We have an environmental company in Alabama that disposes of all fuel waste and things of that nature. And so when you look at all these things, it's risky. That's why you'll never catch one of us sitting at a casino. I think we get up and gamble all day long. We don't need to go to Harris.
Crosby Tugs has faced tough competition every day, but it is their planning, teamwork, and dedication that set them apart.
And as Corey points out, it's more than just boats and cargo. It's been the people and the culture that's made Crosby Tugs a backbone of our waterways.
And I could read you a list of companies that have gone out of business in the last 10 years. And what's given us the gumption to remain where we are is that we have the inventory. We have the fleet, and we could compete on a level that way. There's a lot of small operators out there that we compete with on a day-to-day basis, and believe you me, they're staunch competition. They're not just going to lay down and let us run over them. That's not how it works. We got to compete with everyone. It's fair competition. But we have an inventory, and that's what I said. It's like touring with the Rolling Stones. There's always somewhere to play music, and we could work on this today and that tomorrow and that another week and put them all together in one big pile of stuff. And imagine yourself as a child going to Disney World, and to be an adult in a Disney World like I am now, but it's not funny like Disney World, And I love being in this environment. I'm so happy that we're all the employees here are provided a place where we could do these things, and that's what's kept us where we are. The diversity and the continued investment into the fleet. We have a big fleet, and so we have a lot of soldiers in the army. Let's put it that way.
Corey Keefe's insight really highlights what has made Crosby Tugs successful. Strong leadership, trust in their teams, and the freedom to get the job done right.
And that commitment, not just to work, but to each other, is what has kept Crosby Tugs productive, competitive, and a true backbone along our waterways and along our coast.
He really has given us the latitude to be able to function at doing what we're doing, and expects for us to be able to be involved and expects us to be productive. And I think that you could see with all the stuff being built around us right now that we're not letting them down. So, or letting the people down, or letting anybody down. I think that the good thing about the cohesiveness is the business over here. I was president of the South Central Industrial Association as well. You know, we did all these things because all these things are just so doggone important. And I have a boss and an owner who understands these things.
Crosby Tugs has been making sure people, equipment, and materials reach the places that matter most, all while keeping safety and efficiency at the forefront.
And more after the break, as we'll hear from Michael Hare, Michael Heck, and Susan Bourgeois. We'll be right back to Coastal Day at the Legislature on Louisiana and Beyond.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
C-Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, C-Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drilled deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call C-Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
In our final segment in this week's program on the Coastal Day at the Legislature, we hear from 3 statewide officials.
And we'll hear how our protected and restored coast affects our state's economic development. And we begin with the state's top coastal official.
And again, I cannot stress enough that we can't do it alone. So I would like to think I probably have one of the luckiest jobs in all of state government. Who else gets to stand in front of a group like this, have this level of support from everybody inside and outside of government across all aspects of industry supporting what we do? Maybe only the person I'm going to call up has a slightly equal job in fund to mine. But I really want to just stress under Governor Landry, the whole of government approach that he's taken, challenging the cabinet secretaries to work together. I certainly work with my regulators well because we have to. But for someone like LED, calling CPRA may not be a natural first stop for them. And I think under Secretary Bourgeois' leadership, that is changing, and we are involved in very early stage planning with companies that are looking to locate to Louisiana, and that affords us the opportunity to work with them in a very positive way. Where are you going to locate? Do you have dredge placement? I've got a marsh creation project that's got your name on it. Let's figure out how to do it together. And so those opportunities at those early stages really help create a win-win-win for everybody. The vision and the mission of the master plan gets implemented. Private industries coming here to create jobs, and along with that, their environmental responsibilities are being done in a way that supports our mission as well.
The governor, by the stroke of a pen, can control, right? The governor can force Gordy and I and Michael and I and DOTD and DEQ to work together, right? We all work for him. But the governor can't force the Corps to work with us. The governor can't force the PSC to work with us. The governor can't force local government of any sort to work with us, nor regional economic development organizations, nor the private sector. And so what we have created in Louisiana as it relates to, we used to call it a whole of government approach, now I call it a whole of Louisiana approach, because it goes well beyond public service in the public sector. What we are doing is why we are winning. It just simply is. It is the competitive advantage that Louisiana has right now. Everyone in this room, from ports to levee boards to all the companies I just mentioned, to everyone who is represented by sitting here, that's why we're winning. So I'm going to tell you, because these numbers should matter to you a great deal. So I like to announce them in two different ways. One is just what we've announced, because the significance of that should not be lost on you. So I'll start there. So since the beginning of the governor's administration, we have announced $94 billion in capital investment in the state of Louisiana in 2 years' time. That represents 80,000 job opportunities. Unheard of numbers. The jobs we announced last year alone, just the 2025 jobs we announced as part of LED and this whole of government work, the average salary of those jobs was $95,000 a year. The average salary in Louisiana right now is $57,000 a year. Put that in perspective, right? So that's how well this is working. But as importantly as what we have announced, we have something inside our agency. It's called our AB pipeline, right? Y'all are familiar with pipelines. It's the projects that we work on such a frequent basis, they have an A or B priority. And they have an A or B priority because we believe we have a very good chance of winning them. Okay? So just to put in perspective what I'm about to tell you, that pipeline today represents 180 projects, $282 billion in CapEx, and an additional 42,000 direct jobs. Those numbers are unheard of for Louisiana, and I will tell you, Michael, thank you for even asking me to do this, because this shows you, today is sort of metaphorical for how it's all working, and those numbers are bearing it out.
As I was saying, coastal protection is also very, very much about the everyday Louisianian and small business. It's fundamentally about affordability. 5 of our parishes rank in the top 20 in the nation in terms of most expensive parishes for homeowners insurance. When people ask me what I am most worried about in New Orleans, in the region, in the state, they expect me to say public safety, or they expect me to say the pipes that keep bursting on Claiborne. They expect me to say who's going to be the starting quarterback. I say it's actually affordability. Homeowners insurance is the thing that if we don't address it, combined with flood, that could actually simply make it unaffordable for us to be here and work here, even if we want to. And that's why we have things going on at G&O Inc., not only on the local level, but nationally. We are trying to write national all catastrophic insurance that would actually provide affordable wind and flood and fire and volcano and everything for all of America, because we do know that although we are kind of the wet end of the sphere, this is something that is impacting all of America. And I also want to say, finally, that the coast is a source of potential generational wealth. We have companies like Glass Half Full, like Our Coast, that are part of our securing coastal contracts workshops. It's a way to create a lot of money. I'd like to say that we have an opportunity in South Louisiana to go from being the victims of disaster to the masters of disaster, who sell this around the world. The Dutch, 4% of their GDP is by selling their water management technology. When you land at Schiphol Airport, what does the poster say? It says, "Welcome to below sea level." They brag about it because it's actually a competitive advantage. So as we approach the 250th birthday of our great nation, the 100th anniversary of the Great Flood of 1927, let me say that I think that Louisiana, based on the work of everybody in this room, has a chance to lead again. The coast, it is not our vulnerability, it just might be our greatest asset. Thank you.
And that wraps it up for our coverage of Louisiana's Coastal Day at the Legislature.
And as always, we appreciate you joining us on the program, and we hope to see you again next week on HTV's Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond has been brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.